Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got 5 meals for you. 15 minutes or less to cook 5 delicious, healthy meals. Today I want to show you that you can actually cook meals that are healthy and not too expensive in a short time. I know a lot of people out there are struggling with knowing what food to eat and something that's not too expensive and doesn't take hours to make. So we're gonna cook 5 meals made under 15 minutes. They're gonna get you in serious shape. All right, let's get started. Our first dish is a taco salad. Before we start, just know that you don't have to go by my specific guidelines. We're all different, we like different things. Today I have a piece of steak or a filet steak. You can do this with ground beef, ground turkey, chicken, even tofu. So pick something that you like. I'm gonna have jalapenos, pickled jalapenos. If you don't like spicy, maybe not do these. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to fire up the grill. I'm putting on high heat. I'm gonna take the temperature down as I put the steak on. Then we are gonna start chopping up all the vegetables and prepare the actual salad. So I'm gonna start with ripping my lettuce up. What I'm doing here is I'm making a little bed at the bottom of the salad here. All right, then I'm gonna chop some red onion before I put the steak on. That's about enough. I don't wanna put too much red onion on. Kind of takes over. All righty, let's put the steak on. So I like to fry in real butter. You can use an oil as well if you want to. And the beauty of this dish, there's hardly any carbs, so I'm gonna use the steak as my protein source. Then I got some cheddar cheese, I got the butter, and you can put some sour cream in as well, and that's gonna be your fuel in this dish. And it's all fat-based, so mostly fat as a fuel source in this dish. So this works really well if you're on a keto diet, for example. I don't know about you, but I like my steak medium, even medium rare sometimes, depending on the type of steak. Okay, we're gonna put some sea salt on both sides, making sure to put some black pepper on as well. And I'm doing about 3 minutes on each side here. Turn down the heat a little bit. I season my steak 2 ways. Sometimes I'll just put salt, sea salt, and black pepper on it. Other times I'll actually put some taco seasoning on it. So I think that I'll do that today. I'll put some taco seasoning on it. And as I said before, you can do this with any type of protein source that you like. You can do it with garbanzo beans or chickpeas, as it's called as well. Tofu, chicken, another piece of steak, or ground beef, ground turkey, whatever you prefer. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm putting this in aluminum foil for a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna let that sit while I'm preparing the rest of the salad. I'm gonna chop up some tomatoes. I'm gonna put some aged cheddar cheese in here. Obviously, you can use any cheese you want or no cheese if you prefer that. I like to put cheese in since I don't have a real carb source here. Vegetables are not, they're pretty empty on carbs. So to get enough fuel in this dish, I make sure to put cheese in. Today I got Greek yogurt, but I also put sour cream in every once in a while. And then obviously the butter with the steak is gonna add some fuel, fat as fuel as well. I'm gonna open a can of corn. I love pickled jalapenos. I'm gonna chop a few up and put that in as well. Cilantro is optional, obviously, but I'm gonna garnish a little bit with that. I just love the flavor of fresh cilantro. And then we have the sauce. So I think we're almost ready to slice up the steak and put it on the salad. All right, the moment of truth. I hope I didn't mess this up. Not bad. All right, I'm just gonna add for the regular lunch for me personally, I try to get about 40-45 grams of protein in. That's obviously gonna be different for you. I try to hit about 1 gram protein per pound body weight in a day, total. So to get about 40-45 grams of protein in a lunch is pretty on point for someone like me who's working out. Okay, we're gonna put some taco sauce on. Make sure that you get a taco sauce or a salsa that's low in sugar or no sugar, I would say. I like this one because it has no sugar added whatsoever. There's obviously gonna be some natural sugar in the tomatoes, but besides that, no added sugar. Here we go. I'm gonna drizzle some Greek yogurt. Sour cream works well as well. Putting my jalapenos on top. Cilantro, done. So this didn't take more than 50 minutes, took less than 50 minutes. So I know there's a lot of people who think it takes forever to cook a healthy, delicious meal, but look at this, here it is. All right, let's give it a try. Try it, trust me. Our next dish is a vegan dish that's high in protein, super simple to make, should be done in less than 10 minutes. We got some garbanzo beans, which are high in protein, so that's our protein source right here. We're gonna throw in some garlic. You can use fresh garlic. We got a smoked paprika, olive oil, baby spinach. Let's do it. I'm gonna start with firing up the stove, put some olive oil in. I'm gonna open this can with garbanzo beans. This is actually one of my favorite vegan dishes at the moment. The smoked paprika really goes well with sauteed chickpeas. So I'm starting with the garbanzo beans and the olive oil. Then I'm gonna add some garlic. We're adding the paprika. Pinch of salt. So the garbanzo beans are almost ready. Now I'm adding the spinach. Give it a nice stir, mix it in. I want to make sure not to overcook the spinach here. So that's why it's important to add this towards the end. All right, let's plate it. There we go. Took me about 10 minutes. Okay, let's try it. Hot, but really good. When I make vegan meals, I try to always prioritize protein, because a lot of the vegan protein sources are not that high in protein volume-wise, and they're also hybrids between protein, carbs, and fat. So here you got, the spinach and chickpeas that are both high in protein, and that, from a nutritional standpoint, this is a really good high-protein vegan meal. Enjoy. Our next dish is one of my all-time favorites. You can make this in many different variations, but today we're making a tomato sauce with tuna and capers. With that, we're gonna serve some spelt brown rice and lentils in a blend. I really like this dish with pasta as well, but if I were making pasta here, it would take probably around 20 minutes. This is a very straightforward dish. I'm gonna chop up the onion, I'm gonna fry it in the pan, then I'm gonna add the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes, the albacore tuna that we have, capers, and as a final touch, we're gonna put some lemon juice in it, salt and pepper. Simple. So I'm starting with firing up the stove, olive oil, I'm gonna chop as well. So I'm chopping up some onion here. It doesn't matter if it's red onion, yellow onion, whatever you have at home really. I'm gonna fry the onion. We're gonna saute the onion for a couple of minutes. So after about 2 minutes, we're gonna add the tomatoes. After the 2 cans of tuna, I'm adding the capers. There's different size of capers. I like to use the smallest ones for this dish, but that's, my preference. Now it's been about 5 minutes, so we're gonna add some lemon juice. About a half of a lemon, I would say. We're gonna prepare this. You can do it in microwave, but what I like to do is to put it in a frying pan and gently heat it up with some olive oil. Then add some olive oil into the pan. Time to plate it. So we got our lentil and brown rice blend here. And here we got our tomato sauce with tuna and capers. Let's try it. So simple, straightforward. Took me about 10 minutes to make. I add 2 cans of tuna because I want more protein. Then it gets, thicker as well. You could make this with 1 can of tuna and it's more of the tomato base that takes over. So whatever you prefer. Our next dish is a vegan dish as well. It's a lentil soup, and in a lentil soup you can add vegetables that you like, and I really enjoy tomatoes in mine, so I'm gonna add some diced tomatoes and Dijon mustard. But the broth is gonna be the base. And if you're not vegan, you can make this with chicken broth. All right, let's get started. As always, I'm gonna fire up the stove first. I'm gonna add the broth, the tomatoes, and then lentils and carrots and Dijon and garlic. It is that simple. So I've added the broth. Now we're gonna add the tomatoes. Then I'm gonna add this lentil blend that I really love. It's a sprouted blend with green, black, and brown lentils. Since we're making this dish in less than 15 minutes or less, make sure you use the right lentils. Some lentils require a longer cooking time. These guys only need 10 minutes. Since we only have 10 minutes for the lentils to get ready, I'm gonna make sure that I chop the carrots a little smaller so they are done in 10 minutes. Chopping done, let's put them in. We're gonna add some garlic. I like to use this minced garlic. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard as well. I'm adding a little salt and a little pepper, and then we're gonna add some curry powder. That's a nice little touch to this lentil soup. Now it's starting to boil, then I put the lid on and I turn it down. So we just want it to simmer, and this will be done within 10 minutes. So the soup's been simmering for 10-12 minutes, and it's time to give it a try. Perfect, delicious. Our fifth and final dish is a fried rice with shrimps and eggs. Fried rice is an underrated dish. It is so easy to make, and you can make it as healthy as you want. Me, for example, I like to boil a lot of rice, then I put it in the freezer. So this rice is actually cooked and has been in the freezer, and now it's defrosted. I like to use shrimps. Sometimes I'll blend it with some chicken as well, but hey, whatever floats your boat. If you like tofu over shrimp and chicken, that works as well. So the dish is going to consist of rice. We're going to throw in some eggs, the shrimps, spring onions, some dark soy sauce, once again my minced garlic, and then we're going to top it off with some ponzu, which is a citrus soy. Let's get started. Firing up the stove, adding some olive oil. And as you can tell, I don't have a whole lot of rice here. I had a lot of shrimps, I got 2 eggs, and not a whole lot of rice. And the beauty of making this dish from scratch yourself is that you can decide how much carbs you want in it and how much protein. So the ratio of carbs versus protein, or fuel versus protein in this dish, is going to be way different than if you would buy it at your local restaurant. You want to make sure not to overcook the shrimps. It's easy to make them way too chewy by overcooking them. So a couple of minutes on each side will do. So the shrimps are done. We're gonna put them to the side, pan back on, crack 2 eggs. Stir it up for a couple of seconds. I don't want to overcook this. And we're done. Literally 10 seconds. All right, we're quickly going to chop up some spring onions. I just want to say that you could put, 3-4 eggs in if you want, but it's a matter of preference. I don't love having too much egg, but you can if you want. We're adding some olive oil into the pan here before we start frying the rice. Just know that you can use sesame oil. If you like sesame, the flavor of sesame, sesame oil is a nice little touch. Rice in the pan. I make sure to constantly move the rice around. I'm gonna add about half of the spring onion now, and then half of it later. Let's add the garlic. I'm gonna add the soy sauce, the dark soy sauce. It's gonna add a nice flavor, but also, that dark, nice color that you want. Stir that in. Okay, it's time to add the shrimps and the eggs, and we're more or less done. Let's plate it. There you go. 15 minutes or a little less. You got a really nice fried rice with shrimp and eggs. As I said in the beginning, you can do this with any protein source you like, but the beauty of making it yourself is that you can really dictate that ratio between protein and fuel, fat and carbs. So as you can tell, there's a lot more shrimp here than what you would expect in a dish like this. So super healthy, will get you jacked. Almost forgot, we gotta add some ponzu sauce, which is a soy sauce with some citrus in it. It's a matter of preference. I love this sauce, but you don't need to put this on at all. All right, let's try this. Yeah, baby. Did you know that I have an app? For as low as 27 cents per day, you can get access to all my programs. So what you're waiting for? Join the Magnus family today. So there you have it, guys. 5 meals made in under 15 minutes. They're healthy, delicious if you ask me. No excuses, guys. You can live healthy. You don't have to break the bank, and you can make cooking a part of your life. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, or I'll throw some shrimp on you. See you next time.